After 3 rounds of talks marked by guarded optimism, the US and Iran will return to the table in Muscat on Sunday, just ahead of a visit to the region by US President Donald Trump. Earlier meetings outlined basic areas of agreement but left key disputes unresolved. What began as tentative exchanges in February has gradually evolved into more structured discussions, the latest round revealing the first outline of a potential agreement. With political stakes rising and tensions simmering beneath the surface, could this be the round that finally shifts the talks from vague promises to real progress? That will be our discussion today in depth. Stay tuned. The Times of Oman reported that Omani Foreign Minister Sayed Badr Abu Saidi confirmed the fourth round of talks between Iran and the US will take place in Muscat on Sunday, May 11th, following coordination with both sides. On May 2nd, the Sultanate of Oman announced the postponement of the previously scheduled meeting, which was set for May 3rd, citing logistical issues. Reflecting on the third round of nuclear talks, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi described the atmosphere as more serious, with the talks shifting towards technical issues. Delving more into our discussions, we're joined from Pennsylvania by Mr. Malik Francis, member of the Republican Party, and from Cairo, Mr. Hani Suleiman, Iranian affairs expert. Good afternoon to you both, gentlemen. And let me start here with Mr. Malik. And what is the Trump administration's current assessment of the progress made during the previous rounds of talks with Iran? And are there clear signs that both sides are maybe closer to a potential agreement?
Good evening to you and to your guest, and to everyone watching us. Before I start answering your question, there is a new rumor, a fresh one out of the White House. President Trump may recognize the state of Palestine while he's in Saudi Arabia, and I hope that it's true, and that's the only solution in order to bring peace to the Middle East. So I pray and I hope that he will recognize the state of Palestine.
We are all hoping for such an announcement and looking forward, definitely. Please, continue.
Yes, and as we discussed in the past, President Trump wants to sign a nuclear agreement with Iran. And he has been changing his mind, unfortunately, and doesn't really give his envoy, Steve Witkoff, the liberty to go ahead with an agreement with Iran. In the past, he said he may allow Iran to have a nuclear program for civilian purposes only, peaceful purposes. He changed his mind. Now he wants to dismantle. He wants Iran to dismantle all its nuclear program. So this may cause a problem tomorrow at the meeting between Witkoff and Iran. So the problem with our president, he keeps changing his mind. and he needs Iran. He needs the market of Iran, and Iran needs the sanctions to be lifted. And many American companies have been urging him to go ahead and sign a nuclear agreement with Iran. So hopefully tomorrow it will be a good, positive meeting, and will move forward in order to accomplish what everybody wants: an agreement with Iran and peace in that part of the world.
Now, Mr. Hani, let me get to you. And how does Iran view the progress made during the previous rounds of talks? And do you think that this upcoming round would result in tangible outcomes?
Good afternoon to you and your kind guest and your audiences. And I think the upcoming round of negotiations is a great gain due to the tensions that took place around the postponement of the round that is related to a set of tensions by rhetoric between Iran and Germany and Iran, and the escalation of Houthi targeting Ben Gurion and other reasons. Therefore, resumption of negotiation is positively, but we should affirm that the features of the negotiations between Iran and the US is overwhelmed by uncertainty, and as also changeable, I mean, related to personal Trump's vision as an individual and not the U.S. as establishments and institutions. And this would interpret the change of Trump's mind, and there is a problematic issue relating to Iran's right of the enrichment of uranium in light of Trump's call that she's chosen by the peaceful destruction of its program or by wars. And other related issues, either going to be temporary or a full agreement. And also another point related to guarantees, how for Iran to get some guarantees to secure the not for U.S. to go back again, and i.e. to push the U.S. for military strikes of Iranian establishments. And I think there is a new thing happened in light of the tension between Trump and Netanyahu that would open opportunity for move forward. And let me say again, despite the positive futures, but is subject to collapse, as many details contained some trapped factors that may lead to the failure, and therefore opportunities are equal with respect to the moving forward or to collapse.
Right. Mr. Malik, let me get back to you here. And given the guarded optimism following the previous rounds of talks, what specific steps will the U.S. take to ensure the current round leads to real progress on key unresolved issues, especially regarding nuclear verification and sanctions relief?
I guess now the U.S. Wants to prevent Iran from having a nuclear weapon. First thing, first demand. Secondly, now they want Iran to dismantle its nuclear program, as Libya did in 2003. So I don't think Iran is going to agree to the second demand from the U.S. There'll be a negotiation that why Saudi Arabia will have a nuclear program, and President Trump will help them out. As he's doing it all over, really. And Israel has nuclear weapon, and nobody would dare to go and inspect their nuclear reactor. Pakistan has it, India has it. So what doesn't Iran allow to have a nuclear weapon? Because Israel and the Israeli lobby here are afraid of Iran that it may use nuclear weapon against the state of Israel in the future. That's the only reason. And Trump, as I said, wants to make money.
We're speaking here.
Iran.
You raised a very important issue, which is Iran and vis-a-vis Israel and the U.S. And it seems that there is disagreement between the US and Iran and Israel regarding the file of Iran.
It's very true. When the Prime Minister of Israel was here last time, President really Trump surprised him by saying during the press conference that the U.S. will be meeting with Iranian representatives. And Prime Minister Netanyahu, the war criminal, almost had a heart attack because for the first time, President Trump did not discuss it with him or anyone else. And that's how President Trump is. He loves to surprise and to surprise everyone, his enemies or his friends. And what will happen in Saudi Arabia, hopefully, he will recognize the state of Palestine. So President Trump doesn't want war. But if he will be forced, unfortunately, it will be tough for everyone and it will be disaster for Iran and the whole area. And I believe next week when he meets with the Saudi Crown Prince, the Qataris and the Emiratis, they will ask him not to take any military action against Iran. Iranians are looking forward to go to Iran and make money. And Iran will, before the 1979, was the best ally of the United States. And that's what the Iranian people want. And hopefully we are going to have a nuclear peace agreement with the Iranians and move forward and have the Middle East as the new Riviera, as President Trump talked about.
Right, Mr. Hani, Iran has described the progress in earlier rounds as cautious. Now, what are the key sticking points that remain for Iran, particularly around the nuclear deal's verification mechanisms and the sequencing of sanctions relief?
There are several points related to the problematic issues with Iran and America. There are issues related to supervision, inspection, and transparency, and the coordination related to the IAEA to play its role with respect to the nuclear program. The second point, that Iran has tried to intervene, new mediators instead of IAEA, to have Russia and a greater role with respect to verification and supervision. And I think it is a problematic issue might be disagreed or not accepted by U.S. There are some other technical issues. There are limits that Iran might accept. They may agree to minimize the percentage of uranium enrichment, and with respect to abandoned the central devices related to the enrichment, but they never abandoned the industrial enrichment. With respect to the other guarantees are related to U.S. to stop imposing new sanctions on the oil and gas sectors in return of economic incentives and advantages. And Trump is also using the policy of the stick and the carrot through the Vance deputy president by saying there is a great opportunity to integrate the Iranian system in the world economy. But they wouldn't be able to go back once again to the nuclear program. So there is a set of disagreements and guarantees searched by Iran in light of a space of untrust, and also due to the negotiations aren't related to the two parties. There are other parties, such as Israel, pressuring. So what are the guarantees by the is to prevent any military targeting to the Iranian facilities?
Mr. Hani, I have to stop or take a break here, because now we'll move to a live conference between Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky and European leaders.
30 days and increased pressure on Russia. And it means unconditional ceasefire in sky, on land, at sea, that should be long enough and that could be renewable. It should be completed with appropriate provisions for monitoring and with arrangements for the distancing of forces along the line of control. And it's very important to engage with the US for them to be in charge of the monitoring, with the assistance of all those who want to join, and France is obviously ready to join, but it's very important to have the UN's involvement. We need a clear mechanism for the attribution of potential violations with robust penalties applied. And as both of you mentioned, we firmly reject the possibility of making any concessions of prejudging the outcome, and there is no precondition, neither stopping delivery of arms to protect and resist for you, or any, no prejudging any type of negotiation. And we have to be clear that if Russia does not comply, it must face consequences with additional sanctions and further support to Ukraine. And we have to prepare a new package of sanctions which should not be business as usual, and probably we should reconsider in the days to come. And we have to increase the coordination with the US, taking as a basis what Lindsey Graham put on the table, but a strong coordination, and I want to salute our Nordic friends because they made a great job during the past few days to allow us to be closely coordinated. But we have to strengthen the package to be sure that we have a clear retaliation package and we deter Russia from violating this ceasefire. Second remark, at the same time, we must continue our support to the Ukrainian armed forces, which have been resisting heroically and which will remain, in the long term, the best security guarantee for Ukraine. And a strong, well-equipped national army remains Ukraine's first and most important security guarantee, and this is something we have to secure here. We need a discussion today, but we will have to secure a proper financing in our package, and it will be an important discussion as well as a G7. And third, a durable peace requires as well solid and robust international security guarantees for Ukraine. Therefore, we must continue strengthening our coalition and continue to make progress on a possible Russian force. In accordance with the mandate expressed in March, efforts led by France and the UK, together with the Ukrainians and other contributing partners, continue on a daily basis, and the military work and planning on parameters of the Russian forces is ongoing. And I want to thank our military teams and this day-to-day planning, and I want to thank as well the help of NATO and all the able and willing countries in order to prepare the Russian force, which will be as well a clear support and complement to the Ukrainian army in order to build this robust peace. And this is where we should use the 30 days of ceasefire to negotiate all the parameters for this robust peace. And obviously we are completely engaged and committed. Volodymyr, thank you very much, and I think all of us want here to reiterate the clear message that we are very lucid. 80 years after the end of the Second World War, that you are on the right side of history because you protect your sovereignty, your territory, and doing so, you are at the forefront as well of the protection of the whole European territory and what we built after the Second World War. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thank you very much. Freedom.
Yeah, first of all, Volodymyr, thank you for convening us virtually today to continue the discussions on how to bring just and durable peace to your country. But let me first thank you for your invitation, and thank you to our colleagues for having me in this group of prime ministers and welcoming me so by heart. Thank you so much. I'm really hoping to cooperate and to continue very closely with you. Thank you so much for having me in this group. I would like to start with three messages. The first one is the new German government is fully on board to make this group a success. Our engagement will be substantive, and we are doing this to reach peace for the courageous people of Ukraine. We are doing it for our security in the entire European Union and the entire European continent as well. Second, I believe that strengthening Ukraine's armed forces will be the most important part of this group's work and the centerpiece of any future security guarantees for Ukraine. We should collectively agree on ways to sustain financing for an army of sufficient size and capabilities based on Ukrainian input and building on the Rammstein contact group and work of the capability coalitions. You follow me? Count on me, count on us, count on Europe and Germany. Germany will continue to gear up financial support. The reform of our constitution, which we made in Germany, will enable us to deliver now and in the future. I count on you, your partners, to do the same collectively with us. Third, helping Ukraine defend itself and engaging in negotiations to reach a ceasefire or even a peace agreement are two sides of the same coin. This is why I will work hard with Keir and Emmanuel and Donald together to continue engage the United States and bring Russia to the negotiation table, always with Ukraine, never without. A word on the negotiation process. A full and unconditional ceasefire in the sky, on land, and at sea would be a starting point. We should now build on the negotiations between the United States, Ukraine, and E3 in Paris and London. We should work on two strands. First, hammer out modalities of a ceasefire, and second, define key elements of a framework agreement for peace negotiations. However, we know Putin's goal is to procrastinate and not make substantive concessions. It is therefore essential that we keep the United States on board and convince President Trump. Ukraine is not the problem. It is extremely constructive. It is Russia that does not move unless we increase pressure. Putting pressure on Russia means strengthening Ukraine. We will need to do this for a long time if the war continues. It will be the right thing to secure a ceasefire or peace. I'm happy to join forces with all of you in this important work for peace in Ukraine and security in Europe. And Emmanuel, you mentioned 80 years of peace and freedom in our part of Europe. It's not yours, it's our part of Europe. This is our obligation to continue our work on peace and freedom in this part of the European continent as well. So we are committed, we are here, and we are ready.
Thank you very much. Please, Donald.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's our privilege to be here today with you. And what we need today is maybe not another speech, because I support everything what my partners just said. It's obvious we are here to show our unity, and this unity is not an abstractive slogan. It's something real. And unity means also solidarity. And solidarity means readiness to sacrifice something. And we are here also to demonstrate that Europe, our countries, the whole West, that we are ready to sacrifice a lot to support you, because your fight is our fight. Because Ukraine, your soldiers, your nation, fight for not only for your freedom, for your independence, for your integrity, but also for our countries, for Poland, for Germany, for United Kingdom, for France, for Europe. And I really believe what I said. We are here also to promise you and to promise to our people that we will be not naive. We will have not illusions about Putin and Russia gains. It means that we will be also very tough and clear. Unconditional ceasefire means unconditional ceasefire, nothing else. And with this very positive signs of re-engagement of our American friends, I think we can be very successful here. You can count on us, Volodymyr, as always.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, dear friends. Yes, and thanks. Press will continue. It's a pity, but without you. Thank you.
croit dans la paix, qui croit dans la liberté. Le 8 mai, nous avons eu l'occasion
Well, that was a press conference between the Ukrainian president and the EU leaders who were in Kiev in support of Ukraine, or in show of solidarity to Ukraine. The French president has already said that with the aim to secure a 30-day ceasefire between Ukraine and Russia, and that the ceasefire should not be conditional at all. He also said that there should be coordination with the US regarding this ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine. Macron also promised Zelensky and praised his of support and praised his role in defending his country. On his part, the British Prime Minister has said that they will work to strengthen Ukraine, and that support will be sustainable and or sustained. He said that Ukraine can count on us on that. He also said that they will find a way to reach a ceasefire and permanent peace, and that they are supposed to build on the U.S. negotiations that with the Ukraine that took place so far. On his part, German Chancellor said that they were participating in this meeting because it is essential to reach peace for Ukraine, reiterating promises of support and the importance of reaching an unconditional ceasefire. On his part, Zelensky definitely thanked the EU leaders for their support. Well, that was Mr. Malik Francis, member of the Republican Party, and Mr. Hani Suleiman, Iranian affairs expert. We thank you so much for joining us today and for your valuable insights. I guess that concludes today's episode of In Depth. Many thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more coming up on Q News.